behind me is a young man called Echo Otto. I taught him, so did Mr. Fuglis, yes, and several other people. And he is here today to talk about some of his experiences since leaving Broomfield. And he has a very, very special message for you all. So can we give him a big round of applause?
Basically, my name is Echo, and I moved here because I suffer from something called MS. And basically, I want to explain to you what MS is. It's an autoimmune system, immune disease, which means that it's a disease that affects your immune system. And what basically happens is, imagine your nerve cells, so your nerves as a wire or a cable.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking to the boys of this, sorry.
Right. Imagine your nerves as like a cable, yeah? And you know you've got the plastic around it to insulate it. What happens is your immune system starts attacking these cables, so your nerves, attacking this thing called myelin, which helps signals, or your brain signals. When you want to move your arm, your brain sends signals straight to your arm through these things called myelin. When they get damaged, obviously those signals don't get sent right. And when they don't get sent right, because it's affecting your nerves, the symptoms could be anything. Like, for me, it affects my legs, and it makes me really tired all the time and dizzy and stuff. But for other people, it affects their eyesight, people go blind, it affects their arms, their chests, their breathing. I mean, some people can get really bad. But I don't really want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is, I don't know, perseverance. It's funny that, what's his name, Mr. Fernandez, just said that. So that's literally what I want to talk about, because, imagine this, yeah, I'm in bed. I go to a party and come back home, and I'm not feeling right. I go to get a glass of water, I can't stand up, I panic. So obviously you go to the doctors. I've been in hospital for a while now, but the first night I was in hospital, I had my family around me. And when you got your family there, you're thinking, you can't be like, you can't be that sad. You can't let it show. What I feel like you can't let it show too tough. So I was still smiling, still joking around with them. It was all good until they left, and that was my own. I started feeling panicky. I started being scared. I was thinking, what am I gonna do? Like, I can't feel. I'm in this hospital bed. I can't feel my legs. I was supposed to go home a week ago, and I ended up being there for 3.5 months. Like, what am I gonna do? And then I realized I could stay in this bed and like wallow in my misery, be sad all the time, be defeated, or I could carry on living life, because life is gonna carry on. Like, if just because I'm sad or I feel like I'm going through this massive change in my life and it's all depressing and sad and whatnot, doesn't mean the rest of life is gonna stop and look at me and be like, oh, sorry, we're gonna spend all our time trying to pick you up. Nah, it's gotta come from yourself. So if you don't want to try and help yourself, no one's going to want to try and help you. So what's the point? It's kind of like, you got to get somewhere. You're walking. Your life is like a path here. You're trying to get somewhere, but then you hit a brick wall. What do you do? What do you do? You can't get around it. It's huge. You can't get over it. Like, there's no getting around it. You have to go through it. What do? Do you decide, oh no, it's a brick wall, this isn't possible, I'm going to turn around and go home, I'm just going to give up like that? Or do you find a crack in it and go through that? And I'm telling you now, if you don't find a crack, make one, because no one's going to do it for you. Like, you're like, how old are you in sixth form? 16, 17? So you're thinking about going to university, yeah? University is good times. I can tell you that, but it's also a massive change. Like, university is where you get hit with situations, and you could try and just sit back and hope someone else will pick up the slack. But, and I'm not even just talking about school life, I'm not talking about like work, because obviously that part is important, but I'm talking about in the wider life, because whilst you're in school, school is your life. Like, school is all you know, school is what you worry about, you know what I mean? Unless you have extreme situations, like, I can't obviously speak for everyone. But something like, when you go somewhere like university, when you get yourself into problems like debt and stuff, you have to sort yourself out. If you get yourself into any kind of worries, you're there on your own. You can call your parents up and they can try and help you, but at the end of the day, whatever consequences is down to you. If you decide, you know what, this is too hard, I'm just gonna stay back. Who's that gonna help? Like, what is the point of it, is what I'm trying to say. Life, I don't know, like I had this massive speech, but now I think about it, it's really simple, it's literally simple. If you need to do something in life, do it. If something stops you from doing it, if anyone, your friends, your family, anyone tries to say, no, we don't like what you're doing, if it's obviously something really bad, then obviously you need to check your life. But if it's something that you are passionate about, something you really want to do, don't let anything stop you. People look at me and they're like, oh, you're in a wheelchair, and straight away they look sad. In my head, I'm looking, why are you looking sad at me? Before, when I was walking, I could only walk for about 10 minutes. Before I had this relapse, I was only walking for about 10 minutes max. Now I'm in a wheelchair, I can go faster than people walking. When I'm on the top of a hill and I'm looking down, and I just let go, and I'm bombing down that hill, what am I worried about? It's fun, like, and I can still do things. I'm into poetry, so I write poetry, I do spoken word, I can do things. There's nothing stopping you but yourself, and that's it. No matter what excuse you have, no matter how peak the situation is, and the only thing that will say that will make you say, "Ah, oh, it's enough. I can't do this," is yourself. Because you're the only person. Unless you're literally kidnapped and someone's making you stop. You know what I mean? You're literally the only person. So if you fail, it's down to you. If you achieve, it's down to you. Just think about that. That's it, basically.
I was going to say, before we finish, because what I'd like to do is, if there's any questions at all, don't feel afraid, because actually I think this is a great opportunity, if you don't mind taking some questions.
Definitely.
So, I'm happy to get the first question, which I'd like to know is, what do you think is the greatest challenge you faced?
Hills.
Hills.
Going down them is fun, going up them is not as much.
Right.
Especially the steep ones.
So what goes through your mind when you face a hill then?
Damn. Damn. But then I have to do it.
Yeah.
But the good thing about hills is when you go up them, it's hard as hell. Like, especially if it's steep, it's hard. And when you get closer to the top, the harder it gets.
Yeah.
But as soon as you hit that flat, as soon as you get to the top of that hill and you're on the flat surface, it's like cruising, it's like floating, because your arms have worked so hard, they don't need to work that hard anymore, so you're just cruising for a while. And then you might hit a downward hill, which is even more fun. But then you got to work again, go up another hill. I suppose, metaphor for life.
Yeah,
there we go.
It's a metaphor for life. I think everyone can work out how that is a proper sort of image for us to remember. Is there anybody else who's got a question? Really, don't be afraid. If there's something that you're really wanting to ask, go on and discuss it.
I don't. Actually, if I've got a banister and a crutch, I can get myself upstairs and downstairs. That took, 6 months of physio? But I can do that now. At first, just thinking about standing up gave me a headache. So, yeah. And the thing about it as well, you've got loads of physio, you've got loads of support in terms of physiotherapy. And the whole idea of it is to make your body stronger. So when you do have another relapse, because at the moment there isn't a cure, so it is kind of for life. But in the future, there's lots of research being done now, so you never know. But if you keep your body strong, when you do have another relapse, getting back to normal or as close to normal as possible wouldn't be as hard as if you just let yourself become weak, and then you have a relapse, which makes you weaker anyway. You know, it makes it a lot harder. So
Sure. That was a great question, because it sounds like it was a really simple question, but actually there's a lot in that. Is anyone else who's got a question? This is your chance. Come on, sixth form.
Oh yeah. Well, this is really funny, but something else I was also going to talk about was how it also affects my memory, because I forget things. I think that's about it. Like before, it was like things like I couldn't remember names and dates and stuff, but like this year, after this relapse, I tend to forget entire conversations. So I might talk to some of you after this, and no offense, I will try and remember it, but like I can't make any promises, you know. But that's how it happens. It's not something I can help. It's not something. It's not really something you can fix either.
So do you have tricks to help you remember things then?
I keep images in my mind.
Right.
So I remember how a person looks.
Yeah.
I just might not remember what we spoke about.
Right, okay. So at least you can hold on to the person.
Yeah, I would definitely admit, or like, if I've been somewhere before,
Yeah.
if you give me instructions telling me the names of the roads, I'll have no idea. But if you
Right.
tell me it looks like this, I'll know what you're talking about.
Did this affect you at university?
It's been affecting me since I was 14.
Right.
At first it was just my legs, just like weakness in my legs. And then as I got older, I suppose I developed a learning disability,
Yeah.
which I didn't really expect or really realize, which has a lot to do with the memory as well, because what happens is I can read an A4 piece of paper and only be able to tell you the last 2 lines of what I've just read. And my teachers just thought I was lying.
Right.
They thought I was just, lazy. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I had a dyslexic assessment in university and found that out. So that's how I actually found out.
I was going to say, I mean, this is slightly going off topic, but some of our people here who are going to university do face difficulties,
Yeah.
you know, and so without sort of like, going into specifics, but how did you find the support at university? Can you just talk to us about that? Because I think for some people that'd be really interesting.
Right. The thing with university is there is a lot of support, but they won't baby you, as in they won't be like, oh, you haven't been coming to lessons, what's wrong, da da da. They'll just mark you off as not been coming to lectures. You have to seek their help. Like, there's a massive support system, but only if you go like yourself and to speak to them yourself. Otherwise, no one's gonna come out and look for you and be like, oh, what's wrong? Talk to me, shoulder, it's not like that. So yeah.
Do you think that's good, because that makes people realise
Because-
what life is really like?
Exactly, and I think they do that on purpose, because that's what I'm saying. It's like in school, it's much different. When you're in university, anything that you do or don't do is completely down to you. So if you are struggling, you don't look for the help. That's down to you, not your lecturers, not how your lecturer teaches or anything like that. It's completely down to you. So. But you learn along the way. Like I'm not saying go to uni and be perfect, because that's impossible. But you'll I don't know, you get a hang of it somehow. It's like that.
That's brilliant. The bell's just gone, so we're going to go back to lessons, but if there's anybody who wants to ask Echo any questions, you're more than welcome. He's going to be here for a few minutes, so please come and talk to him. This is a great resource here. You're not just a resource, you're a human being, of course, okay? But it's a chance for you to just ask anything, because I think some of these questions here are not just questions about university and just futures, but they're questions about life. George, did you want to ask something? Oh, I thought you had got something. We've got 5 minutes. Fantastic, thank you. So are there any questions from the floor? Otherwise, I'm quite happy for us to actually do as I said, just ask Echo any questions that people have individually. No? Okay, can we show our appreciation, because Echo's coming. So much to pull from what you said, and I'm so grateful for you coming in, because it's just been the right message, the perfect message.